Preserving history is something that is absolutely important. You learn from the past in order to move forward. If you erase history, what is our younger generation going to learn from? What's going to be left for them to know about? My name is Anna Davidson. I'm chairman of the Orrville Railroad Heritage Society. We were founded in 1978, and a group of concerned citizens worked together to save the circa 1868 Pennsylvania Railroad Depot from destruction. It is one of the biggest buildings in downtown Orrville, and it is a unique structure in the way that it's set up with a passenger terminal on one side and a freight terminal on the other. This is a very large structure. It was very precious to many people in this community because family, friends came here, relocated here, became railroad workers. Many of the businesses in downtown Orrville supported the railroad atmosphere here in town, and we were always cross sections by the railroads in town. We had a lot of railroads going through Orrville. This depot was in deplorable condition when we raised the funds to save it from the wrecking ball. My father got the phone call that even though we had the deed and it acquired the building, the Conrail wrecking crew was here with a wrecking ball to take the building down. I was at home at the time when he flew out of the house, ran down here, and proved to the railroad we owned this building. So public funds from many of the local families that had been here for generations helped save this building. Today it is filled with many artifacts. They came from people who inherited them, who no longer live here, but they brought them back to us. There's evidence of all of the train trips that we used to do because we did major rail excursions to Pittsburgh. We also went to Denison, we went to Lodi, we went to Vermilion. We did an Ohio President special, which focused on all of the presidents that were born here in Ohio. And we took on an average 1,000 people on these large major excursions, working with the Wheeling and Lake Erie, also working with N&W back in the day, and NS. We now have an historic rail yard, which is a little bit south and west of Orrville, and that was the original C&C railroad main line that then became the Pennsylvania Railroad, and then became Penn Central, and then became Conrail, and eventually was abandoned. It was acquired by a local businessman by the name of Art Davis, who loved trains and loved railroad equipment. He made it his goal to save many historic pieces of rail equipment that you would never see today, principally wreck cranes. We had 2 steam wreck cranes and 1 diesel wreck crane. Our passenger fleet has changed quite a bit over the years, and we now have a board member of the organization who has acquired an historic Pullman coach car that holds about 60 people, give or take. And it's a very old car, but it's in excellent shape. That is the car that we will be using for our Santa rides, which begin on Saturday, November 25th, and they run through the middle of December. My favorite part about being part of this society is working with great people like we have in the room with us today.
I'm Barbara Cormell. I joined the Railroad Club in 1985. I volunteer in the gift shop.
John Borman, who hasn't been here as long, but is absolutely integral in this operation.
My name's John Borman. I joined the Railroad Society with my grandson, Ethan Williams. He was really enthused about trains. So him and I, we've been here, he's 15 now, so we've been here about 4 years. He knows everything there is about trains.
You're seeing today our featured holiday O-gauge rail setup, and I want to thank John Borman and Ethan Williams, his grandson, for creating this special layout, which will be on display for the whole month of December. We have a dedicated, hardworking crew at our rail yard that are out there at dawn and they work many, many hours as volunteers, keeping the maintenance of way aspect of the rail yard safe. We have talented former railroad employees who know the maintenance of way aspect as well as the locomotive shop aspect to make sure that the loco is running correctly and can deliver our passengers, pick them up and deliver them back to the loading platform.
I'm Mike Cook, and I'm a volunteer also at Orrville Railroad Heritage. And I've been a member about 20 years, but for the last 3 years I've been out here helping lay track.
My name's Mike Skabar. I'm a volunteer out at Orrville Railroad Heritage. I've been here for 30 years. With Orrville Railroad Heritage, I've been a member for 7 years, but before that I worked at this track for 23. The previous owner, he liked trains, and like younger people, they have their train set. And he had a full-size train set, and we would repair the bad spots in it so the steam locomotive would operate, and he would run that probably 4 times a year and then put it away for the winter. Then we'd add more track to it.
My name is Ronald C. Connor Sr., alias on the railroad known as RC. I am the Chief Mechanical Officer here at Orrville Railroad Heritage Society. Okay, I started on the railroad when I was 20 years old. Started with Conrail in the maintenance way track department, promoted to track foreman within a year and a half. I remained track foreman with Conrail for 15 years service there, and when the government started cutting back at Conrail, and you could see the writing on the wall with Norfolk Southern going to be taking over it, I went down to the Wheeling and Lake Erie Railway down at Brewster. A couple years there as a machine operator in the track department, and I transferred into the locomotive shop, not by my own, but just by necessity. Did 15 years in the locomotive shop with the Wheeling and Lake Erie.
We have regular events basically from April through the middle of December, on average just about every other weekend. If you want more information on that, please check our website at www.orrvillerailroad.com. Go to events and scroll down and you'll see a portal where you can go look for tickets. We'd love to have you come visit us and ride with us.
The railroads are important to Ohio, the community, and the nation because they keep a lot of the truck traffic off of the highways. They are an integral part in the security of our nation.